Hey, and welcome back to another Just 5 Mins with a special intro music. If you didn't recognise it, it was a dodgy rendition of the Terminator theme tune from the first movie, I think. And apologies for the microphone. My usual microphone is decided to go the way of the dodo. So it might be a little bit echoey. But yeah, so the rise of the machines, Cyberdyne systems, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you get the idea. So there's been so much AI stuff going on, and I've been sort of deep into a few parts of what's been happening. But there's a few things, well, there's lots of things come out recently, of course. I mean, even above and beyond ChatGPT with GPT-4 and all that sort of side of things. Microsoft have sort of, at the moment anyway, seems to have really captured things. But one of the main things, of course, is the Copilot being built into Microsoft Office products, which, yeah, I mean, great in Excel. Who needs to remember how to do a vlookup anymore, or anything like that? But they are, you know, I mean, a lot of people are worried. I can understand it, but they are tools. It's like with the coding side of things. You've sort of got to know what you want and also to understand the code. And yes, things like ChatGPT can, you know, help with that and explain the code. But anyway, but the main thing out of the Copilot ones, well, on the Office side, is in OneNote, actually. It's done quite an amazing job of being able to sort and look through and find all my notes. I've been using OneNote for probably 10 years or something like that. And that's great. And it does really help. You can see how this is really going to be quite a major impact on the tools. But the other thing, of course, is GitHub Copilot, which has been it's been out for a while. You know, it was free for a little bit, then you have to pay your $10 a month and things like that. But GitHub Copilot X, which is obviously all the new stuff that's coming, does look pretty interesting, I must admit. You know, things like GitHub blocks. You know, they can help you build documentation for your repo, but really things like code brushes, where you could sort of paint over, as it were, a chunk of code and say, explain this to me, or make it more robust, or suggest these things. Again, you have to sort of know, is this good, bad, indifferent? So it's one of those ones, isn't it? But there's also things like Copilot Voice, which obviously doesn't just type out the letters that you're saying. It interprets that. So you can say, well, create a function to do X, Y, Z, and it will, you know, from your voice. So that's pretty cool. And there's a lot of other things on there. One of the other interesting ones on the GitHub Copilot X is the Copilot for CLI. All those darn flags and things that you have to remember. And obviously it does a great job at helping you out. And the final one for today anyway, because we haven't got a huge amount of time, is basically where you can essentially put a device on your head. Luckily, no drilling holes into your brain yet, like the Elon Musk stuff. But it's a company called Neurosity. I'll put the links below. But there's something called the Neurosity Crown that essentially pops onto your head, has all these sensors, pick up all your brain waves. And there's a guy who I follow on YouTube, Jeff Delaney, I think it is. He's got a YouTube channel called Fireship. And he's got a crazy video where he's actually used this thing. It's about $1,000 US, and ironically, it's got SDKs, and one of them is a Java SDK. Sorry, a JavaScript SDK, which you can take the data coming out of it, and it's got loads of examples. But this guy on Fireship has actually taken it to one step further, you know. So I'll let you have a look at that, because it's probably better to just watch that video. It's only about 5 minutes or something anyway, but it's incredible the way that how he's hooked that up to GPT. And anyway, you have a look at that. But it is crazy. It's a crazy time, there's no doubt about it, but I think it's also a time of opportunities. And again, I can understand the concerns, the worry, but realistically, it's like everything, it is an evolution of assistance tools, really. And yeah, you know, who knows what's going to happen, but it's an interesting time, as they say. So that's all I've got for this time on Just 5 Mins, and we'll catch you on the next one.